Hi friends, today I'm going to read you a story about a holiday that you might not have heard of before. It's a Muslim holiday called Ramadan, and it's happening right now. And Muslims follow a religion called Islam, and this is a really important holiday for them, and it happens every year, and it takes place for an entire month. And during that month, adults and even kids can, probably fourth grade and older, but you don't have to fast, which means they don't eat any food. They don't even drink any water. So in the morning, before the sun rises, they'll eat a large meal. They'll go all day without eating or drinking, and then they eat another meal after the sun goes down. And one reason they do this is for self-reflection and self-discipline. So this is a story about Ramadan. It'll give you a little more information about the holiday and a little more information about just Muslim traditions and the religion of Islam. So Night of the Moon, the illustrator is named Hena. The illustrations are done by Julie Paschkis. It's a really beautiful book, very beautiful pictures. It was bedtime and Yasmin waited for her mom to read a story as she did every night, but this night was different. Mom came into her room and pulled back the curtains that hung over the window. "Come and take a look at the moon," she said. "What's so special about the moon?" Yasmin wondered. "See for yourself," Mom said. "That tiny little line?" Yasmin asked as she squinted into the darkness. "I can hardly see it." "That's because it's the moon's first crescent," Mom said. "It means a new month is beginning." The moon is a very important part of Islam and Ramadan. "A new month?" Yasmin asked, "but it's only the 17th. "It's a new month of the Islamic calendar, which is based on the moon," Mom explained. "Long ago, people used the shape of the moon to keep track of days. They'd watch the moon grow bigger till it was full, and then smaller until it disappeared. When the moon reappeared, a new month would begin. Like tonight," Yasmin said. "Exactly. And do you know what month is starting tonight?" Mom asked. "The month of Ramadan," Yasmin answered. Yasmin had been looking forward to Ramadan. It was a time filled with delicious foods, new clothes, lots of parties, and her favorite things ever, presents. At school the next day, Yasmin was proud when her class had a discussion about Ramadan. Her teacher, Mr. Sanchez, told the class, "During the month of Ramadan, many Muslim people fast each day. Does anyone know what that means?" Yasmin did. "It means you don't eat or drink anything all day long," she shared. "You wake up before sunrise to eat, and then you don't have anything else until the sun goes down." Everyone had lots of questions about fasting. They especially wanted to know if kids had to do it. "Little kids don't fast," Yasmin said, "but maybe I'll try it for a day next year." Yasmin imagined a day without lunch or snacks or even a drink of water. And if you look in the borders of the story, they're showing you different things about the religion. That afternoon, while Yasmin and her little brother Bilal had snacks at home, Yasmin asked her mom if fasting was hard. "Well, it can be hard sometimes, but I don't mind," Mom answered. "Fasting helps me remember to be grateful for the food I have and to be more patient." As the sun slowly started going down in the sky, Yasmin helped Mom pile a plate high with fresh dates and prepare a pitcher of milk. These were the traditional foods to eat after the fast. Finally, sunset came and Dad passed around the dates, said a little prayer, and everyone bit into the sweet, chewy fruits together, and the first fast of Ramadan was over. Then it was time for a special dinner with everyone's favorite foods. That weekend, Yasmin's family went to her cousin Humza's house for the first of many Ramadan parties. Her aunt and uncle served a big dinner of beef kebabs, grilled vegetables, and fresh bread. There were tons of desserts, everything from chocolate fudge cake to rice pudding. After dinner, Yasmin peeked out of the window to look at the moon. It looked like it was stuffed with good food too, since it was now a thick crescent. That's actually kind of where we are right now in the moon too. If you look outside, you can see it. The sky's been so clear you can take a good look at it. The next week, Mom and Dad spent hours in the kitchen cooking up huge pots of food to bring to the mosque. Yasmin and Bilal made cupcakes too. Now, a mosque is where people who follow Islam go to church. That is their church. Ramadan is a time for sharing, Dad explained. Not everyone has as much to eat as we do. The mosque was filled with people that weekend, and soon all the cupcakes were gone. As Yasmin walked outside after evening prayers, she felt good about helping others. She looked up at the moon, which was half full now, like a half-eaten cupcake. The days of Ramadan quickly flew by. Every night, Yasmin looked for the moon. One night, when Grandma was visiting, she and Yasmin went for a walk after dinner. Together, they saw the moon was a brilliant circle. "It's so pretty," said Yasmin, wishing she could see it closer. Subhanallah. I said it earlier, and I think I said it better than I did just then, said Grandma. That was what Grandma said whenever she saw something wonderful. It was her way of being thankful for beautiful things. The full moon meant that Ramadan was already half over. Yasmin couldn't believe it. So now that the moon is full, it's going to start getting smaller again. The next weekend, it was time for Yasmin's family to have a Ramadan party. Lots of friends and family came over in the evening for a big backyard barbecue. Dad set up a trampoline in the yard, and Yasmin, Bilal, and Humza took turns leaping toward the stars, pretending they were the moon. Meanwhile, a real half-moon shone in the sky. Over the next week, Yasmin watched as the moon slowly changed to a crescent and then to a thin line. The month of Ramadan was coming to an end. Finally, one night the sky was moonless. As hard as she looked into the blackness outside her window, Yasmin couldn't find the moon at all. "There's no more moon," Yasmin announced to her family. Yasmin couldn't wait for tomorrow when the moon's first crescent would appear for the very special night, the night of the moon. The night of the moon meant that Ramadan was over and the following day would be the holiday of Eid. So Eid, as you just heard, takes place right when Ramadan ends. When the sun set the next evening, Yasmin's family went to the community center for the night of the moon celebration. Decorated with lights and shiny balloons, the place looked magical. There were lots of stalls where people sold clothes, jewelry, toys, snacks, and gifts from different countries. Yasmin brought some green metal bangles from India that jingled on her wrist. Bilal got a red hat with a big tassel that came from Turkey. And Mom picked out new clothes for the family to wear on Eid, including a pretty green dress for Yasmin. Later that night, Yasmin had her hands painted with henna paste in a beautiful pattern with stars and moons. The paste left a dark orange dye on her palms that would last for about a week and then fade away. Yasmin was excited to show her friends at school. Isn't that pretty? So it's kind of a powder, and you mix it with water, and then you draw these designs, and then it's almost like a temporary tattoo. When the family got home that night, Yasmin caught a glimpse of the moon's first crescent, so thin it was like a faint line of chalk in the sky. The next morning, Yasmin woke up to the sound of Bilal shouting, "Eid Mubarak!" That was the traditional greeting of Eid, a very happy day for Muslims all over the world. After a big breakfast together, Yasmin and her family dressed up in their new clothes and went to the mosque for Eid prayers. Everyone gathered on the lawn to wish each other a happy holiday in exchange for the three hugs of Eid. Then Yasmin's family visited friends and relatives for the rest of the day. Everywhere they went, Yasmin and Bilal received little gifts of money called Eidi. For Yasmin, though, the best part of the holiday, better than the henna, the new dress, and all the Eidi money she collected, was the prize she got at bedtime. Mom and Dad called her into the family room and handed her a big box wrapped in shiny silver paper. "It's an Eid present, Yasmin," Mom said, smiling, "to help you watch for Ramadan to come again next year." Yasmin tore the paper off the box, and it was a huge telescope. She stayed up late with Dad, putting it together and setting it up in her bedroom. Then she took a look at the sky from the window, and this is what she saw. Subhanallah. Yasmin whispered as she looked at the wonderful moon. She couldn't wait for Ramadan next year. Let me see if I can say that again. Subhan Allah. It's very hard for me to say, even though I practiced it several times. So this is the moon she saw through the telescope. So this gives you some information from the author, and this gives you a glossary of the words that were used in this book that you might not be familiar with. You know, the reason we talk about these different kinds of holidays and different cultures is to remind you that there are so many different kinds of people in the world, and we all have different things we believe in and different things that are important to us, and we all might look a little different, but deep down we're the same because you know what we want? We want to be happy, we want to be cared about, and we want to be treated fairly. So I hope this reminds you to respect other people, respect what they believe, and respect who they are, and treat others as you want to be treated. All right, friends, happy reading.